Hi, this is Rand Smith at System 7 Workshops and Coaching Programs. Here with another idea, a tip, a strategy, actions that you can take right now in your real estate business to do more business in less time and put more net bottom line dollars in your pocket. It's no secret to any of you that we're all doing a lot of short sales, whether we want to or not. My question to you is, just like you use a pre-listing package for sellers and a pre-sale package for buyers, do you have a pre-listing package or an educational package that you deliver to potential short sale listings before you show up and then to use as a guide when you're going through information? In other words, the one thing that you need to give to potential short sellers above everything else is an education. They're looking for answers. That's the best way for you to attract people that are short sale candidates, is to be offering valuable information. So I have a pre-listing package and an educational package all in one here, designed for short sellers. You're welcome to use it any way you want to do more business. And I'll go through it with you real quickly. First, page 1 says what you must know about short sales. That takes us to the next page. Short sale 101. What is a short sale? And I go on to tell them, in the world of real estate, a short sale refers to the sale of real property for an amount less than the amount owed on the property. In the short sale scenario, the bank agrees to accept less than the full balance due on the debt and usually forgives all or a large portion of the difference. Pretty straightforward. That's something that they can wrap their arms around. That's understandable. And being straightforward and understandable is critical with a short seller. How will the short sale affect my credit? These are all questions that I've been asked over the years. I'm sure you have too. And these are the answers. I won't read them all to you, but I'll go through some. Short sales are still a relatively new concept. Banks have the option of submitting the short sale to the credit bureau as paid in full or settled for less than full balance. As far as your credit score is concerned, there is no evidence whatsoever to support that a short sale will lower your credit score. Some have the idea that this is like a bankruptcy or foreclosure, and that's far from the truth. In a short sale, the lender is simply allowing you to pay less than you owe. If you are currently behind on your mortgage or facing foreclosure, the short sale will actually help your credit. How? Because once you are approved for the short sale, all collection activities will stop and you will avoid foreclosure. Now, if you don't think that this information is accurate as far as you're educated to, then modify it. I'm giving the answers that I give that I know to be true and factual. Okay, who benefits from the short sale? Well, I say here that they're a win-win situation. Lenders, mortgagees, and realtors all benefit from the short sale. Mortgagors get the majority of their money back, mortgagees get the relief that they need, and are able to sell their property and avoid foreclosure. And realtors can facilitate the transaction and receive compensation from the sale of the property. Next, why would banks forgive the difference? I get asked this all the time. I'm sure you do too. To mitigate their losses, banks often accept a settlement of less than what is owed on the property. When faced with the option of getting the property back through foreclosure, a short sale often makes a much wiser business decision for the bank. For the banks, it's a logical decision, not an emotional one. Now, this sounds too good to be true, and to a lot of people it does. Not really. Things that are too good to be true usually don't make good economic sense. The short sale makes good common and financial sense for the banks who grant them. The fact of the matter is, mortgage companies and banks are not in the real estate business. They're in the lending business. The last thing they want is that property back. Okay, next page. Can FHA, conventional, or VA loans receive a short sale? Yes, I've successfully negotiated short sales for each of these loan types. What if I owe what my home is worth? You ever had anybody ask you that? Even if you owe exactly what your home is worth, you may still need to do a short sale in order to pay for the cost of the sale, realtor fees, title policy, and other seller closing costs. Now, I've never had one like that, but it's there. I've been asked it before. Why does my property have negative equity? Well, there's lots of answers to this question, but here's a few common reasons. The person bought at the height of the market, and the market has now declined or paid more than the property was worth. The area has become less desirable for any number of reasons, so property values have declined. The person purchased the home with little or no money down and wants to sell within a few years of purchase, and the property value has not increased during that time. Therefore, Costs associated with selling a property may create a balance due at closing. Make sense so far? It's just an education, you guys. Why does my property have negative equity? It's a continuation. Person refinanced their home with a high appraised value and now has little or no equity. Person bought in a brand new subdivision or recently developed area that has not been fully developed or is not appreciated or has depreciated in value. The market is soft because there is too much builder new home inventory or too many existing homes on the market, buyer's market. What is negative equity? It's also known as being upside down. Negative equity is the difference between the value of an asset and the outstanding portion of the loan taken out to pay for the asset, when the latter exceeds the former. Now, these are the simplest terms that I've been able to put this in that people go, oh, I got it. This makes sense to me. It's enough information for them to make an informed decision. And remember, people won't do anything until and unless you give them enough information and enough reasons why they should do something to make an informed decision. Now, I'm not trying to sell them on a short sale. I'm simply posing all of the questions or most of the questions that I've been asked over the years by potential short sellers. And I'm giving them the answers right here. I get told all the time that this information has been so very helpful. And it's the way that I get short sellers, potential short sellers, to expose themselves to me, to let me know who they are. And that's what marketing is all about. Finding those people who need to sell either now or in the very near future, separating them from just everybody out there. One way to do it is to offer something that has proven value to them. And we know that they're looking for the answers to these questions. And I give them a very specific example here. For example, if your car is worth $10,000 and you owe $15,000 on it, you would have negative equity of $5,000. Negative equity can result from a decline in the value of an asset after it's purchased. Some areas decline in value. In other areas, prices may remain flat so that the properties in that area do not appreciate it. If a seller wants to sell within 2 to 3 years of purchasing their property, they may be in a situation where they have negative equity. Okay, why not just let my lender foreclose? No. What is the first thing banks do when they foreclose on a property? Hand it over to a real estate agent to get rid of it quick. The foreclosure process is a legal process. It involves attorneys and it costs money. Once they get the property back via foreclosure, they must often sell it for much less than the market value and pay realtors' commissions and all the customary closing costs. Doesn't it make more sense for them to take a at or a little below fair market value before foreclosing? And even when they do sell it through foreclosure, this does not remove your obligation to repay the remaining balance. It is not wiped away. Most people don't know that. But what if I'm not behind on my payments? Short sales work even if you've never missed a payment. Yes, I know. Short sales have gotten a stigma of being only available for folks who are in foreclosure. But I've successfully negotiated dozens of short sales for folks who have never missed a mortgage payment. They just happen to be in a negative equity situation and need the short sale in order to sell their home. If you live in Southern California, almost every home's in a negative situation, you guys. So I would urge you to go out there and find these short sales before someone else does. Let's move on. Excuse me, I had to take a drink of water. How long does it take? Short sale approval can take 60 days or much, much longer. And I really emphasize much, much longer. What if my home is already in foreclosure? Your foreclosure sale will usually be suspended during the short sale process. That's why it's imperative that you contact us right away. Will my lender send me a 1099 on the debt forgiven? Now, I'm just giving them some information. You can pull it from whenever you want. But I'm giving them information here. It said in 2007, U.S. Congress passed the Mortgage Debt Forgiveness Relief Act, and it's in effect till 2012. And it just tells them as a result of that act, borrowers no longer pay taxes on the debt forgiven on their primary residence. So if you're forgiven on that, you're not going to get a 1099 form. Now, I can't guarantee them any of this. I'm not a tax attorney and I'm not an accountant. Okay? I'm a realtor. But I'm giving them this information and quoting where I'm getting it. I'm sourcing it. Next, how much would the short sale cost me? We do charge an upfront, fully refundable fee of $495. Short sales are very labor-intensive transactions. This fee allows us to assign one of a highly trained processors to your account, helping to ensure success. Once we begin working on your short sale file, this fee is due within 7 days. This fee can be paid via credit, debit card, or check. In the event that your short sale is not approved, the fee will be refunded to you. The real estate commission will be paid for by your lender. Now, I have to tell you guys, I've stopped doing this. Okay, I charge a transaction fee, but not till the close of escrow. Okay, and we get it from the lender. All right, so I don't take money up front anymore. There's been a lot of negative information about this, and I think that it depends on where you're at, subject to your local laws, federal laws. It may not even be something that we can legally do anymore. So there's my disclaimer. Everything I'm telling you, subject to your state and federal laws, subject to your broker or manager's approval. Okay? So I'm just telling them. They asked me, I'm telling them. Next, what kind of marketing will you do on my property? And then I just say on regular listings, we do employ an extensive marketing plan. However, we have found that traditional marketing mediums, flyers, virtual tours, open houses, showing feedback surveys are not effective in generating offers on short sale listings. What generates success on our short sales is over 90% dependent on the property's price. We typically review the pricing and make adjustments every week or so until an offer is generated. In addition to pricing, we employ a strong internet marketing presence. If there are very few calls or lookers, then we'll need to adjust the price until we get an offer. They don't care anyway, do they? Because they're not getting anything out of it. We typically generate an offer within 30 days unless the property is very unique. Do you think I should do a loan modification instead of a short sale? Well, they might. If you desire to keep your home and can afford to make the monthly payments, then yes, you should keep it. I truly believe that, you guys. In order to qualify for a loan modification, you will need to demonstrate to the bank that you are generating more income than your current monthly expenses. Is this the case? If so, you'll need to call your lender and let them know that you want to do a loan modification and see if they will qualify you for their loan mod program. If you aren't approved, we can then move forward with a short sale. We can't work the short sale at the same time you're working with your bank on a loan modification. Next, can I lease out my house while we're waiting on the short sale? We don't recommend that you lease your home while waiting on the short sale to be finalized. Lenders will not be sympathetic to sellers who are collecting rent payments and not making their mortgage payments. Also, homes with tenants are subject to legal rules like tenants' rights and much more difficult to show and sell. Isn't that true, you guys? Well, of course it is. Now, I have sold short sales where they did have a tenant in there. One person had a tenant in there for 2 years, paying $3,000 a month, and they pocketed all that money. Okay? But, so it can be done. I just don't recommend it. Next, how will you decide on the list price of my home? Initially, we will set the price based on extensive market analysis. Once we have an offer, we will submit that to the bank. Once we convince the bank to agree to do a short sale on your home, they will hire their own independent appraiser who will come out and view your home and set a valuation based on its condition. In order to get the process going quickly, we will need to send you our short sale package and get all of the necessary information we need back from you first, before one of our team members goes out to put up a sign in a lockbox. We're educating them the things we're going to need to do. What will I need to do to the home to get it ready for the sale? We won't be recommending that you do anything to the home that will cost you money. The truth is, since you won't be netting anything from the sale, the last thing you probably want to do is spend more money on a home that you can no longer afford. For that reason, we will be selling your home as is. Our only suggestion is to clear out as much clutter as you can. Other than that, you're okay. The lender will price your home according to its condition. Next, and this is where I end by talking about the Mortgage Forgiveness Debt Relief Act, 2007. And this is an article by Attorney at Law, and I'm just quoting them. Okay, there you have it. It's the short sale system. It can be used as a pre-listing package or a listing presentation. But it also, the best thing it can be used for is it's something that you're offering to potential short sellers if they're curious, if they need some answers about whether they qualify for a short sale or not. It's one of those things that you can answer online by having a stealth website that says, get this everything you needed to know about a short sale. All the answers are right here. Every question you've ever asked, we have the answers for. It's free information. We have this 24-page pamphlet that will give you all the answers and tell you what you need to do and when you need to do it. Okay? Offering them something of value causes them to raise their hand, say, I'm the one you're speaking to. Can you help me? And then you do. Now, if you're doing it online, you're offering this information and this package, you want to exchange, get them to give you their name and email address in exchange for this valuable information. Because it is valuable, but only if you use it and get it distributed. It's the thing that you can use as kind of a teaser, the bait, if you will, to attract people to you. See, people go online for what? To get an education about something, about a subject, about something that is bothering them or something that they need to know about. Maybe they're going to buy a digital camera and they want to know everything about digital cameras. Okay, so they can figure out if they can trust that person and know if they're telling them the truth about that digital camera that they want to sell them. They do the same thing for real estate, you guys. Okay, so remember that. This is a tool that you can use in so many different ways, I can't even begin to tell you. But I'm sure that you already know that. If you didn't, you do now. Now you're armed with the information you need. It's a very nice looking package, so it's easily digestible. There's only 1 or 2 questions on each page. And that's the way people like it, in bite-sized pieces. How do you train animals? With 1 bite at a time. Small bites that are digestible. And training people is the same way. You're training them to do what? You're training them to see you as the trusted advisor, the information disseminator, their Jiminy Cricket, if you will, the conduit, the connectivity, the information provider, the resource. And that's a lot better than them seeing you as a licensed commissioned salesperson. Okay, this is Rand Smith from System 7 Workshops and Coaching. I'll see you next time for another tip and activity and action that you can take. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Whoops, we forgot. Did I fool you? Mortgage Forgiveness Debt Relief Act, it goes on to the next page. Now it's goodbye. Nope, not yet. There's 1 more page. Now it's goodbye, right? Nope, there's still 1 more page. Surely we're done by